everyone? Welcome to the NoDQ.com live recap of AEW Dynamite for November the 3rd, 2021. We are getting close to the Full Gear pay-per-view coming up just over a week away. Shout out to everybody watching this live. I also appreciate everyone watching on demand as well. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like on YouTube, and please spread the word. Let's get right into this recap. We kicked off the show with the AEW World Champion Kenny Omega one-on-one with Allin Angels, 5 of the Dark Order. Now, before we got to the match, Excalibur brought up Jon Moxley. For those of you that have missed the news about Moxley, Jon Moxley is going into rehab due to alcohol. I'm wishing Jon Moxley the very best. Glad he is taking care of himself. And at the end of the day, his health comes first. We had Omega versus Allin Angels, which some of you might remember the match between Moxley and Allin Angels back at the beginning of the pandemic, April of 2020. And I remember that match was criticized because Omega was selling a lot for Allin Angels, and people were complaining about that. We had this rematch, and once again, Allin Angels brought the fight to Kenny Omega, but then he went for a frog splash. Omega got his knees up. Omega hit a V-trigger, but Allin Angels was able to kick out of that. So Omega had to hit 2 more V-triggers and then picked up the win over a very game Allin Angels. After the match was over, Omega went for a chair and the crowd started chanting cowboy shit. That led to Hangman Adam Page running down to the ring, and he went for the buckshot lariat, but Omega managed to avoid it. He escaped to the outside. Page grabbed the title, put it over by the apron, said Omega forgot the title, and said that Omega has 10 days left to be the AEW champion. Caleb Jacobs with a $5.01 super chat. Thank you, Caleb. Says, Hangman is the next AEW champion in my opinion. Give CM Punk time. This is how you build someone up. I will be 40 on the 14th. You're older than me, Caleb. Happy early birthday to Caleb Jacobs. I hope you have a great one right around Full Gear. And Joey Perez says Full Gear is the day before his birthday. Happy early birthday to you guys. Mine's coming up on the 22nd. Arco says his birthday is on the 25th. A lot of birthdays in November. Great month to have a birthday, if you ask me. Moving on here, we had a little video promo from Malachi Black. And Malachi said that he's been banned from ringside for the upcoming Cody Rhodes versus Andrade El Idolo match. He said that doesn't matter though. That will not have an effect on the match because, as he put it, Julius Caesar had more than one betrayer. Calvin Bowman says, congratulations to me and Caitlin on the marriage. Thank you for that, Calvin. I very much appreciate it. Israel Diaz's birthday is also on the 8th. Shout out to everybody having a birthday in November. Don Bowen on the 8th as well. There you go. You know, it's funny because I think I get it. See, my parents, I was conceived around Valentine's Day. Well, my mom's birthday, which is close to Valentine's Day, February 20th. So I'm thinking, you know, Valentine's Day, 9 months later, November. I get it. That explains why there's so many people having birthdays in November. Michael Wayne's mom is having a birthday on November 21st. We're just talking about birthdays here, but let's get back to Dynamite. CM Punk came down to the ring, not in a great mood. He said there's two people not there at Dynamite. One person has a legitimate reason, that person being Jon Moxley. As I mentioned at the start, Moxley going into rehab for his alcohol issues. And CM Punk said he knows what it's like to just be grinding, and eventually for your own mental well-being, you have to, as CM Punk put it, get off the hamster wheel. He said he's goddamn proud of Mox, and he said, if you need help, get help. There's nothing wrong with asking for it. Well said by CM Punk. Great promo here from him. Then he got to Eddie Kingston and said that he did not appreciate being interrupted. Now, WWE tends to overdo it with the replays, but I have to say, I think AEW could benefit from showing some replays or maybe explaining things a little bit better. So Eddie Kingston lost his tournament match, and on Rampage, CM Punk was backstage and Eddie Kingston was throwing a fit, and he basically interrupted CM Punk's promo, and I guess there's a history between the two of them. But, you know, if you're somebody who's not a diehard fan, and I guess pretty much everybody watching AEW is a diehard fan, you might not know exactly what the history is between them. And we didn't even get a recap of Rampage, so you know you had to have seen Rampage to know what CM Punk was even talking about here. So CM Punk said that Eddie Kingston was not there, which was odd. I guess Eddie Kingston's a heel now. I'm a little confused on it. Crowd wanted to see them fight, and Punk said that he would fight Eddie Kingston if Eddie was there. Crowd started chanting for Full Gear. Punk said maybe that'll happen, but first we have Rampage coming up on Friday in St. Louis. It will be live, which means I will be recapping Rampage this Friday. So tune in for that along with SmackDown. And Punk said he was going to be in the tournament spot, filling in for Moxley, but he has to take care of business with Eddie Kingston first. So I guess on Friday, we'll get some sort of follow-up with that. Joey Perez says, did CM Punk and Eddie Kingston have history in Ring of Honor? I'm not even sure where they had history. And, you know, this is something I do for a living, and I'm not even sure. So if you're somebody who's a casual viewer, you're not really going to know why do these guys have beef again. So little criticism for this, but, you know, I thought CM Punk did a great job with the Jon Moxley part of the promo, and I'm sure once Punk and Kingston get into Full Gear with this storyline, it's going to be really good. You know, these guys can both talk, and I think they'll have a really good match at Full Gear. We had Miro cutting a promo, Miro taking Jon Moxley's spot in the tournament, basically saying he will be forgiven, he'll be loved, yada, yada, yada. We then had a backstage segment with the Super Kliq, the Young Bucks, and Adam Cole. And Christian was back after losing the Impact Wrestling title at Bound for Glory. He's back now. And Luchasaurus and Christian got into a fight with the Super Kliq. They fought into the arena. The Bucks used a low blow to get the upper hand on Luchasaurus. But then Jungle Boy jumped off the stage, and Christian hit a spear to Matt Jackson. Nick came in with a super kick, but the good guys were able to get the upper hand, and Jungle Boy put on the snare trap on Adam Cole, and then Christian got the chairs and did the concerto to Adam Cole. So nice little build up here. They got a match coming up at the Full Gear pay-per-view. This was pretty good. Then we had a tag team match, FTR defending the AAA titles against Aerial Star and former WWE star Kalisto, now known as Samurai del Sol. Kalisto, good lucha things, now in AEW, and he was even doing the lucha. And this was a pretty entertaining match. Aerial Star and Kalisto doing a lot of showboating and flashy moves. Lots of good lucha things in this match. And you had at one point Darby Allin seen in the rafters watching. Good match here. Cash reversed a victory roll and grabbed onto the rope for the leverage to pin Aerial Star. And we'll see if this was just a one-off for Kalisto or if he'll be back for more. We had footage of Nyla Rose confronting Hikaru Shida. They got a match coming up in the TBS Women's Title Tournament. Caleb Jacobs with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Caleb. Says, are they making fun of WWE, the Super Kliq? Get well, John Moxley, for your wife and new kid. Former two-time United States champion Kalisto. Man, I forgot Kalisto was United States champion. Wow. I'm getting old, guys. Or maybe that's how little the title meant that Kalisto was holding it. And as far as Super Kliq goes, I mean, half of what they do is making fun of WWE. Let's be real here. So yeah, a lot of what they come up with is to piss off the WWE fan base. And I agree everything you said about John Moxley. Get well soon, John. Hope to see him back soon in AEW, but when he's ready to come back, of course. We had the Inner Circle come to the ring to announce who they would be facing at the Full Gear pay-per-view. And by the way, Walter Cruz with a $2 super chat says, if AEW can make Kalisto look good, I would be shocked. Well, one match he looked pretty good. He didn't take the fall. We'll see if he comes back for more. It might just be a one-off. Anyways, Inner Circle, they were interrupted by Dan Lambert and the America's Top Team. And this was the segment with all the shit bombs. Dan Lambert wants to leave the shit-stained city of, where were they? Independence, Missouri, St. Louis, Missouri. Wanted to leave as quickly as possible, told Jericho to hurry up. So they ended up not hurrying up and took their time naming the opponents. Jericho was given an open contract, which pretty much was an indicator of how this segment was going to end. So anyways, Lambert talked about all of Jericho's choices, and then you had Junior Dos Santos chosen as the first person. Hager made a joke that fell flat about Dos Santos looking like Popeye, and then they chose Andrade Olive something. I can't even pronounce his name. One of those MMA guys. And I know nothing about the MMA stuff. So Andre, what's his name? And you had Paige Van Zant there, and she wanted to be part of the match. She said she could beat up all five by herself. And Jericho made an OnlyFans joke saying that maybe she could put that 1-on-5 match on her page. But she was not the third choice. The third choice was Dan Lambert. So Dan Lambert is going to be in the ring at Full Gear. Segment was a little long. I think it took a long time for them to get to the point, and you kind of could see from the get-go that it was going to be Dan Lambert chosen for the match. Like I think it dragged on a little bit, in my opinion. Segment was okay, but felt like it was longer than it needed to be. Then we had Jamie Hayter versus Anna Jay in a tournament match for the TBS title. And not much to say about it. Pretty short match here. Anna got a sleeper on, and then Rebel and Britt Baker interfered. Rebel distracted the referee, and Britt got involved. Hayter picked up the win with the lariat. After the match was over, Ty Conti ran down, but she was outnumbered, and then Thunder Rosa ran down to even the odds. We had MJF come down to the ring, and he had a message for Darby Allin, who was in the rafters. MJF said that when all the new people came to AEW, they did not sweat the newcomers because they are two of the four pillars of AEW. But MJF said he wondered why the fans boo him and cheer Darby. And according to MJF, it's because he's a success. He's done well for himself. He's better than everyone, so on and so forth. While Darby is just like the people. Darby is an outcast, not good enough to be a normal functioning member of society, will never fit in, will never win. Darby responded by saying, yeah, he is an outcast, and he said that he's gonna let his anger out right there. He's gonna let it out, and at Full Gear they will just have a straight up wrestling match. He got out of the rafters, went down towards the ring. MJF started to leave, but then Sting and a bunch of guys wearing Sting masks or something, Darby masks, I'm not even sure, but Sting and his army came down and they got attacked by the Pinnacle, and then MJF went through the crowd. Him and Darby started fighting. There was a cool moment here where Darby had the fans kind of like parting the Red Sea, as mentioned on commentary. Darby did this big run towards MJF and knocked him over the barricade. Then Darby went for the coffin drop, but MJF managed to escape at the last minute. So pretty good promo here, back and forth from these guys. I liked it. We then had Cody Rhodes versus Andrade one-on-one. Andrade slapped Cody and countered the Crossroads with the Three Amigos. What a heel that Andrade is, paying tribute to Eddie Guerrero. Then Andrade went for the figure four. Again, you're a heel, getting the figure four pop. Cody Rhodes, but of course, you know, the whole thing with Cody being booed, so I guess that works for the dynamics of the match. Cody reversed the figure four, and then Jose, Andrade's assistant, got on the apron, but Double A Arn Anderson took him out, and then FTR came from under the ring. They hit Cody Rhodes with the AAA title, and then Andrade picked up the win over Cody. After the match was over, by the way, Malachi Black was correct. Lucha Brothers ran down to make the save as FTR and Andrade were beating down Cody, and the Lucha Brothers were about to finish off Dax Hardwood, but Cash Wheeler pulled him to safety. I think AEW overdid it a little bit with the heel is about to get finished off, but he's able to escape at the last second. It happened 3 times on this show. So, little nitpicking. John Silver did an interview with Tony Schiavone, very short interview here to hype up Rampage, and mentioned something about Adam Cole being the bulge or the budge or whatever. Again, something from Being the Elite that you have to watch that show to get the reference, whatever. Walter Cruz with a $2 super chat says, this time next year, MJF needs to be the champion. I agree with you on that one. I definitely want to see Adam Page win the title, give him his run. Omega's been champ for almost a year now. I think it's time to go with Adam Page and then build up MJF as the guy to eventually win the title. We had our main event of the evening, Miro versus Orange Cassidy. Bryan Danielson was out there on commentary, and you had Orange Cassidy with his ribs taped up. Miro's leg was taped up. Orange Cassidy doing the mind games with the hands in the pocket. Miro caught him, though, and suplexed him on the floor. Cassidy was able to make a comeback, hit a DDT, and went for the orange punch, but Miro went to the outside. Miro was over by the announce table, and Cassidy got on the top rope, did a crossbody all the way to the outside, him and Miro crashing through the table, and Orange Cassidy got back in the ring. Miro was on the verge of getting counted out, and Orange Cassidy would have advanced, but Miro did get back in just before the count of 10. Referee was being very generous with that 10 count, by the way. And Orange Cassidy hit the beach break. Miro kicked out of that. And then Miro hit the Mashka kick, put on the game over, and Orange Cassidy immediately tapped out. After the match, Daniel Bryan came down to the ring, had a face-off with Miro, offered a handshake, but Miro refused. So it will officially be Bryan Danielson versus Miro in the finals of this World Title Eliminator Tournament. The winner, of course, will get an opportunity at the World Champion, either Kenny Omega or Adam Page. Match was pretty solid. Overall, solid show. Nothing super memorable, but they did a good job overall of setting up the pay-per-view. Kind of felt like a filler show. So I'm going to go with a B- for this week. Still better than most episodes of Monday Night Raw for sure. So it's not a negative or anything. But, you know, I've definitely seen better Dynamites. It was just pretty decent show. Let's see what you guys thought in the chat room. Let's see, I put up the poll here, but my mouse is acting up, so I might not be able to get to it. Joey Perez gave the show a B, Caleb Jacobs A, Arco with a B, Dr. NXT Scorpio B+, Mohammed with a B, Maud W with an A-. And again, you guys are really loving Dynamite. I feel like I'm always undergrading it compared to you guys. 54% with an A, 38% with a B, 5% with a C, and only 3% with a D. And that was the Dynamite poll. And that was Dynamite, everybody. Full Gear coming up soon. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. And we do have the No DQ review coming up. Looking forward to that with everybody. Thank you guys for your continued comments about the wedding. I appreciate that. I will see you guys for the next video. Take care, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your week. And I'll see you next time.